What you need in your hospital bag. The hospital really does provide most things. I thought I would be wearing, a special robe I brought, pajamas. Honestly, I lived in that. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm doing a what you need in your hospital bag. My baby Ezra is almost a year old, so this is 12 months coming to you. I've been meaning to film this video, but I just keep putting it off because I have to drudge out all of the stuff that I packed in my bag. And it's just been sitting on my to-do list, so I just want to get rid of it. And also, I want to be able to film this so that I can watch it myself when I have to pack for my baby when I'm having my next one. One thing that I will say is that if you're a prepared person and you like to be prepared, go ahead and pack more than what you need. You're really only going to be staying 1 or 2 nights, so you probably have plenty of space in your duffel or your suitcase, but I'll let you know that the hospital really does provide most things, and if you're not even sure, you can always call them and ask to check to see if they have what you need or what you might want. So in the end, you really don't need a lot of things, but let me show you what you do need or what I felt was very helpful. So the first thing I want to mention is clothing. Now, I thought I would be wearing, a special robe I brought, pajamas. Honestly, I lived in that hospital gown because you're constantly being checked by the nurses, you're uncomfortable, you're breastfeeding if you decide to do that, so you really need to have everything available 24/7. You're going to the bathroom, which is difficult. You don't want to be taking off a bunch of layers. Wearing the hospital gown was perfectly fine for me. If you want to be more comfortable, you can bring your own. You can bring other types of loungewear that you feel more comfortable in just in case, but I honestly just never changed. I did bring a robe, which I also used postpartum, so I brought it, and I would probably bring it just in case for some reason I don't feel comfortable in the hospital gown, but just something that's very accessible and comfortable that you can wear, especially when you're breastfeeding, that you can easily take off and on so you can do skin to skin with your baby is essential. Now, you're probably going to be wearing an outfit when you go to the hospital, so I just wore the same maternity pants. These are the ones from Uniqlo. They're very comfortable and stretchy, but they're still fairly snug so that you don't feel, a lot of people complain that after they have a baby, their stomach just feels so empty, and so this helps kind of keep things in, especially when you're going home. So I use the same pants for going to the hospital and coming home. The only thing I switched out was my top, so I just brought, a very comfortable loose t-shirt because, again, you're just going to be feeling very restricted and you want to be loose, especially coming home from the hospital. So a very loose shirt. Make sure that when you're laboring, you also bring socks. As you know, hospitals are cold. You're going to be getting up and out of the bed a lot, and you're also going to be lying in the bed. So I love Bombas. They're my favorite types of socks. They stay on really well, especially around your ankle, so they don't slip, and they're just very comfortable and soft. So bring a pair of socks for sure. And if you feel like you want to bring pajamas, I brought these, which I was going to wear for postpartum anyway because they're very easy for breastfeeding. Bring yourself some pajamas, but you probably won't need it because you're going to be sleeping in your hospital gown, or at least that's what I did. Obviously, you want to bring underwear, and I also just wore my nursing bra to the hospital, and then I wore this going home as well. You might find that during your stay after you give birth, you actually don't need to wear a bra because they actually say it's more helpful for your breasts to air dry between feedings, and that helps to not get them so chafed and cracked. So you really won't be wearing a bra for the most part, and your baby's feeding very often. So I didn't wear a bra underneath my hospital gown, so I just wore this going there and then coming back. The other thing that was really helpful, especially if you don't like to put your clean feet on the ground, is wearing slippers. So I don't have them with me, but I just brought a regular pair of slippers to walk around the hospital room, especially when you're laboring. You might be wanting to walk around, you're going to be using the restroom, and afterwards when you give birth, you're going to be going to the bathroom, walking around your room, etc. You may not want to walk on the ground and then go back into your clean bed, so bring slippers. The next category is toiletries. So I'm just gonna pretend that this is my toiletries. Bring whatever you normally bring. I would say definitely toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, shampoo, conditioner, body wash. You will want to take a shower after you give birth because your hair will be all crazy and gross. There's just gonna be fluids all over you. And it definitely feels nice to be able to shower. You want to make sure you bring any skincare items, body lotion, chapstick, Also stretch mark lotion, if you've been putting that on your belly, you also want to continue to use that probably until you run out after you give birth. I also gave birth during the pandemic, so I brought hand sanitizer, disinfecting wipes, a brush to brush out your hair, and a hair blow dryer. My hospital did not have a hair blow dryer, and I blow dry my hair after I take a shower, so I knew I needed this. So if you do that as well, make sure you bring it. So postpartum, you probably want to bring a few items. Honestly, your hospital gives you a lot of what you need, and I'll talk about that at the very end. But if you want the special PERI bottle, like the Freedom Mom one, or this one I just got from Amazon, you will want to bring this because the one they give you does not have the special spout. So make sure you bring your special PERI bottle if you want it. Also bring a few Depends, because you may prefer wearing the Depends versus what the mesh underwear they give you and the pads they give you. I ended up just liking the mesh underwear and pads, but I did like wearing this when my water broke because I was leaking so much. So I went through a few of these before I actually gave birth. And then I think towards the end, I wore this overnight because it just was easier than having to change out my pad and I wasn't bleeding as much. So make sure you bring a few Depends underwear. Also, I didn't end up using this, but you might want to bring your belly band. Some women say that they feel more comfortable when they have their belly band on after they give birth because their stomach feels so empty after carrying a baby for 9 months. So bring your belly band in case you feel like you want a little bit more security and to feel more snug and put together. I didn't end up using it, but you may want to. The last thing is I brought my prenatal vitamins. I honestly can't remember if I actually took these, but I know they say, and I'm still taking them now, when you're breastfeeding, you want to take your prenatal vitamins and continue taking them. So bring these to take as well. So for electronics, you definitely want to bring a phone charger. A lot of people say to bring a really long phone charger because the plug might be far from where you are. Unfortunately, I didn't feel like spending money on buying a long phone charger, so I just brought my regular phone charger. But what was helpful is Hui, my husband, has an away luggage, and his comes with a external charger. So basically, whenever one of us needed to charge and we were far from the port, which was usually me because I was in the hospital bed, I just plugged this in and I used this to charge my phone and my devices instead. And this thing kept us alive for, a few days. So it definitely is good to have either a long phone cord, or if you don't have that, a portable charger to charge your devices when you need them, because it is true, there's only so many outlets in the room or in the hospital room, and you may not be sitting near one. Another tip is for your husband or your significant other or partner, whoever is with you, there is a lot of waiting around and sometimes they're not able to sleep because it's uncomfortable. My husband suggested just bringing like a Kindle or a book, laptop, something to keep you entertained, because again, you're going to be sitting around. If your wife is in labor and you can't really do anything, or if she's trying to sleep, or if the baby's sleeping, or if for some reason you just have a lot of free time as the husband, bring a Kindle or book or something to keep you entertained. Even for myself, I brought my laptop because in between feedings or when baby was sleeping and I was just resting, I like to look online at stuff. I like to surf the web, post pictures, respond to emails, do whatever you need to do. There is some downtime in the beginning, especially when the newborn is very sleepy. They sleep all day pretty much, so bring some entertainment for yourself, and obviously bring chargers that go with laptops. And then because I was filming our entire birth, which by the way, if you haven't watched, click up here to see my birth vlog, I brought my camera and my camera charger. The last category is for your baby, your newborn. I put all of Ezra's items into my diaper bag and brought that as a separate purse. So I had my suitcase full of all of our items, and then I had the diaper bag which had all his stuff, and then my wallet and things. So the hospital really gives you pretty much everything you need. The most of the stuff that I brought would be more for on the way home, because for us, we were going to my parents' place, which was about 40 to 45 minutes away. So I knew we'd be in the car for a little bit of time, and so I wanted to make sure I brought enough stuff for him. But you really don't need diapers or wipes or anything. One thing you do need is your going home outfit. I don't have mine anymore because it's put away in storage, but I have like a pretend onesie. Whatever you want to bring your baby home in, take pictures in, bring that obviously. And then for the car ride home, like I said, bring a blanket. Your baby tends to be cold, especially, well, it depends when you give birth. In October, it was still pretty warm, but I brought a blanket in case he seemed cold, or to shield the light, because when they're in the car seat, sometimes the light shines at a weird angle and it goes right in their face. You want to make sure that they're nice and shaded. And then I just brought a burp rag because he might spit up, who knows, drool, random things might happen. You just want something to mop it up quickly. So I brought my own burp rag as well. The last thing that I don't have is his car seat. Make sure you bring the car seat because they will do, at least for us, a few checks on the car seat. They actually put Ezra in there and had him sit there for, I want to say, an hour because he was so small. They wanted to make sure he'd be okay in the car seat. So for us, he was able to leave the room and get the car seat and bring it back. I know for some people in the height of the pandemic weren't able to even leave the hospital room and had to bring it in the beginning, but he was able to leave it in the car and then just bring it afterwards. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a list of things that my hospital provided. It may be different from yours. Again, just call to confirm, but this will be helpful for you to know so that way you don't have to bring it yourself. Again, if you just wanna be prepared, if you want to make sure, you could always bring these items, but you really don't need to because unless you're very picky. So I'm just gonna read from my list here. They gave me cold pads, so the pads that you put, pretty much like padsicles that you wear after postpartum to help reduce the swelling and just feel more comfortable down there. They also provided the nose bulb syringe, which we didn't really use in the beginning. They gave plenty of diapers and plenty of wipes. They also gave us tons of packs to take home with us. So even in the car ride, in case he had a blowout or something, I knew I would have plenty of diapers and wipes. They gave us Vaseline. We did circumcise Ezra, and so he had to have gauze and Vaseline. They gave us so many tubes of Vaseline, which we still have to this day. They gave me my mesh disposable underwear. They gave me very large pads, tons to take home as well. They gave me Dermaplast, and they also gave me a PERI bottle, but it's not the kind with a bent nozzle. It just shoots straight up, but they do give you one in case you just want to use theirs. So those were all of the items that I brought in my hospital bag and that I actually used. If you have any questions, please comment below and let me know if there are things that you included in your hospital bag that you want everyone else to know of or think of. Each person's different, each hospital is different, but I know when I was planning for this, I didn't want to be caught off guard, and so I brought extra just in case. And obviously for your partner, make sure that they have their clothes and toiletries as well. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!